Hari Om Tat Sat.
ॐ कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः.
Few words about the prayer. Whosoever we pray, whichever form of the divinity, but this prayer leads us to Haraye Paramatmane, Hari, the one who will carry us across the ocean of life, and Pranata Klesha Nashaya, any agitation, any disturbances that will take place, it is He, Krishna, who will guide us. So Klesha Nashaya, Nasha, to inhale it, to disturb, to remove. So, and that's all the purpose of spirituality is. Now, today's session is so beautiful, I think, because luckily we are getting 3-4 slokas which guides us as to what should be the path of our devotion, or what should be the path of what is the word, path of our worship, so to say. Worship is also not a proper word, but anyhow, so understanding on this level, why we go to the temple, why we go to the churches, synagogue, why do we even study Bhagavad Gita? Because we want to define the purpose of our life. We want to learn what life is all about. We would like to be happy all along, and we would like to study off our mind as to why our mind is agitated most of the time, and it does not do what we would like to do. We do not know, but what really happens is that all the time we want to do certain thing and mind does something else. That means we are under the direction of mind. Mind is the master, and while we are not. So in this 34 sloka, Lord Krishna, Bhagavan Shri Krishna, is guiding us, is telling us as to where lies the root cause and how to understand the root cause and to deal with it. So just a few words and then we'll deal with the sloka. So first of all, the austerity, or what we may call it in the most common language, most Indian language, tapa literally means to heat. And what do you mean by to heat? If you take any metal ore, or if you take gold, and you want to have the purity of the gold, it needs to be heated in a kiln, in a furnace. So that is called smelting process. So that similar smelting process we have to do in our life. And once you start smelting it, once you start heating up, that the part of austerity to which most of the people, they call religious or dharmic activity. For example, recently, I think maybe the last week or this week, was Persian People's New Year. They bring in religion also, some religious activity. If it is Christmas time, or I don't remember which day it is, so they call Ash Wednesday. So they apply the ash on their forehead. And so many people from India, Bharat, we have so many religious holidays and so-called holy days. I didn't mean vacation. That's why I'm separating those two words, holy days. And they celebrate, they do certain things. Certain days we fast, certain days we do not eat certain things. But most of the time, they say that this is a holy day and we should do some punya, we should do some austerity. But truly speaking, it is not austerity. And still it is, if you genuinely study what is tapa, and the whole purpose behind the tapa aspect, or the austerity aspect, or the smelting process aspect, is to study the behavior of mind and calming the mind down. So where the klesha nasaya, pranata klesha nasaya, that was the prayer we were chanting. What is that klesha? And why does it happen? So punya, papa, you keep on studying this, all these things begin. See, the mind, we don't know what mind is, but the mind is using 5 senses. Now, those 5 senses, they gather the outside object, they gather the outside information, and they think that they are learning something. And we keep on accumulating information. Now, so whatever, if you just take, for example, one organ of perception, that is eyes. So your eyes go for and look for some object. And slowly you develop the taste for the object. Once you develop the taste for the object, then on certain days, they think that let me just close my eyes and I do not want to see this. Or if you take the organ of taste. So certain people say that on this day, I will not eat the grain. I will just live on fruits. So they want to develop, they want to understand what is that my taste for the object. That means you like the various delicious food. So in order to first learn your attraction, you get so attracted that you like certain foods only. So on that day when you do not eat that food, you're trying to restrain yourself, you're trying to study that what is the bondage that the taste of the food is causing on your head. Understand this little point. So by not eating certain food, by not listening certain things, you want to see whether it has a pronounced effect on you, or could you live without those? But truly speaking, what happens is, and this is everybody's experience, and all of you will agree, that say, for example, I am not eating grains on, say, Monday. So when Monday comes, I don't eat the grain with an awareness that I will be doing some act of punya, austerity. So really speaking, you are studying the pull, the attraction, the desire that that food has on you. But are you really understanding that even if you do not eat the, say, grain food for the entire year, do you think the taste of your tongue for the grain food will have no effect on you? So far as it has the effect on you, so far as it has a pull on you, what will happen is you will be looking for it. You will develop the desire for it. Whether you get it or not is a different story. But so far as there is desire, and you contemplate on it, then, and if you do not get that desire fulfilled, you will feel agitated. You, first of all, you will develop over the course of time, having studied that taste, you will develop the attachment. Oh, I love this, say, cheesecake. Okay. So you will be looking for some attachment to it. And every moment you will be looking for the cheesecake and you will have that desire. If you do not get the desire fulfilled, you will know what may happen. You don't know, but subconsciously, this pull of the desire being not fulfilled, it will make you angry. Study all this detail, and that is what Bhagavad Gita is talking about it. We may call it a holy book, but it's one of the most practical books if we study it accordingly. So by not fulfilling the desire, even momentarily, you will see that you will become angry, agitated. As little as, for some reason, you did not get the morning coffee or tea, you will feel agitated, you will feel angry. And once you feel anger, what is the next step in the sequence that happens? Once you become angry, of course, you will be failing in judgment, because no matter what type of work you do, you may be working as a housewife, you may be working in the office, you can be the president of a company, but you will be failing in the judgment, because subconsciously it is exhausting your energy. So it's a poor judgment you will make. And if you keep on making poor judgment, wrong judgment, what will happen? All this wrong judged events, they stay in your head as a memory. So your memory will be bewildered. Memory will be loaded with all those clashes. Huh? And once the memory is bewildered and it is bad memory have been stuck in you, if we do not analyze that, then accumulated memory creates a mental faculty which is called intellect. And that, once the memory is bewildered, the intellect will be also bad intellect. And once you have the bad intellect, the events can be so many, number of times can be so many. Don't worry about those. But if you study the sequence in which this thing happens, once the intellect is bad, do you know the intellect is the one that will make you judge every time? The judgment will be wrong, and that will further agitate you. Once when the intellect is bad, do you know that your whole life is ruined? Study that sequence. And once when a whole life is ruined, we don't know, but this is matter of your like and dislike. That process becomes your everyday affair, and that is what in the original prayer, not original, but the prayer that we chant, and they use the word klesha, internal conflict. This is where the conflict comes into picture. So what truly needs to be done is to go back and start studying the behavior of mind. All the time we are studying. We are studying what? But the objects from outside, but nothing from our own mind. So if you talk about the sadhana, your spiritual path, that path, forget about all the gods, forget about all the scriptures, just see what your mind does and how monkey mind behaves. Keep on studying. Our mind will come up with all those kind of explanation. Those explanations are also nothing but the part of the, not part, but the cause of the clashes. And this keeps on adding the impurities to the gold. What is that goal? To really understand the truth, the eternal element. And that eternal element we fail to study because of the scratches, because of the pull of the taste for those objects. So by not eating the food on Monday, good practice. But our mind says, oh, I did a holy thing because every Monday I don't eat fruit. I live only on fruits. Some people say I have just a water fast. I live on water. Somebody says I don't drink water. Somebody says I don't take salt in my food. And somebody may say I eat meat, but on those days, today is our holy day. I am not allowed to. See the used word, I am not allowed to. But if they were allowed, they will eat meat. So what we are failing to do in all this is austerity is there, but the true austerity must not be transient. Go to the root of it and study the taste for those objects and be aware of and tell yourself, it must not be the taste which drives me. I should drive the taste. That is the austerity, true austerity. And for that, it doesn't have to be Monday or the weekend or some holy days. Every day is holy. Every hour is holy. And why is it holy? Because it makes your mind holy. And once your mind is holy, what truly happens is you are the master and the mind is not the master. So we are learning today such a beautiful meaning of the word holy day, spiritual practices. And in that, you do not necessarily have to know the Sanskrit or any other spiritual language. If you know, it's well and good. But to adapt the spiritual practice in the right manner. So hereafter, understand anything in spiritual practice, whether you are chanting some holy name, whether you are doing service to other people, whether you are doing Raj Yoga or anything, are you developing the mastery over your mind? That's it. And mind, the lower level of mind are those five senses. And those five senses, each senses has full. And the taste for that object that need to be studied. You can remove the object, but the taste still remains, that pull still remains. Study this. And more remind yourself that you are becoming slave every day. I don't want to use the slave word, but you are becoming more and more. You may get it into the bondage, you may get into the prison, and prison may be made up of golden cage. but still a prison. So understand, you can enjoy, but by enjoying, you be fully aware that do you have mastery over the senses? And to develop that mastery, now all of you will appreciate that we were, for many years and many times, we had studied what? Wait for 5 minutes. And what do you mean by wait for 5 minutes? The coffee is so good. Oh my God. Can I have a second cup? Okay, have it. But then sit in front of the coffee and tell coffee that this is so good, but I am going to observe for 5 minutes and I'm not going to drink it right away. Or even though I would like to consume even 2 more cups, but I'm going to drink just half a cup and wait and study the taste of the coffee. It's not whether you drink it or not, but study its flow. And at that time, you're telling the taste for the coffee that I am the master. I decide whether I should taste it or not. So you're slowly developing the mastery over the taste. And as soon as you develop the mastery, then you are not really developing the attachment to coffee or any senses. And once you develop the attachment, it gives to desire. Once it gives to desire, it brings you to anger. If it brings to anger, the anger may develop poor judgment. Poor judgment may develop bad memory. Bad memory may develop bad intellect. And in short, we feel miserably unhappy. So we totally ruined ourselves. So Bhagavad Gita is so beautifully guiding us on that manner. Allow me to take those slokas, and you will now get this sloka very well. Let me take you there. Let us go to the next sloka. This is sloka number 59. Let me first read this translation. Aspirant may restrain the senses from their object of enjoyment. What does that part mean? As I was explaining, that today is Monday and I will not eat the solid food. I will remain on fruits. So you are restraining your senses from their object of enjoyment. What is the object of enjoyment? All the delicious food. But the taste of this sense object remains. Another thing that often happens, dear friend, is that when people say, I'm going to fast on Monday, and you see how your mind fools you, and say, okay, Monday I'm not eating. As soon as Monday night, 12 o'clock happens, 12:01 is Tuesday. Then you go and eat like a pig. So on the contrary, you are becoming more slave to the taste of the senses. However, okay, here, let me read again. Aspirant may restrain the senses from the object of enjoyment, but the taste for the sense object remains. However, even this taste ceases for those who realizes the Supreme. That means, if you truly understood the beauty of pure love, peace, compassion, and you have developed your inner self, you have studied the mindless mind, you have studied the bodiless body, and you see the life beyond the body and beyond taste. And that is the realization. So those who reach to the realization, for them, the taste ceases for those who realizes. So now let us, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have the sound for it, but never mind. Vishaya Viniv Vartante Nilaharasya Dehina Rasa Varjam Raso Apyasya Param Drushtva Nivartante. Vishaya, the object. Viniv Vartante, that you refrain from it. Nish Aharasya Dehina. So, word by word, if you look, first he says Vishaya, object for the senses. And that we saw that all the delicious food and the senses which our tongue, okay? Vini Vartante, restrain, be absent from, or have mastery over, for time being, understand. Niraharasya, practicing self-restraint, not eating that. Dehina, for the embodied meaning for deha, body. Rasavarjam, rasa, taste, and varjam, the staying away from or restricting cessation of the taste. Rasa, taste. Api, however, asya, person's taste, param, supreme, drashtva, the one who has realized, one who has seen, one who has attained, one who has studied the mind, nivartate, cease to be. So those param, supreme, those who have realized, they have mastery over the pull of the taste for the object. So understanding and mastery, it's not going to happen overnight, but slowly and slowly and slowly you practice. First, you begin with 5 minutes of tasting. Later on, you go and decide in your mind that what is really happening. That say in the evening, I will not eat on Monday, or just one day, any day. And at that time, start studying your mind. What happened? You normally eat at 6 o'clock, okay? But at 6 o'clock, you see what kind of desire you have, what kind of attraction you have for the food. Start observing this. Start witnessing it. And when you get a strong pull in the beginning and the initial day, just remind yourself, okay, I know my senses are pulling me, but I'm not going to surrender. I want to see I am the master. So thereafter, you may be walking 10 times through the kitchen in front of the refrigerator. Still, you will not eat. And later on, it will become so easy that you to just say, hey, okay, Monday. That's all. And Monday, that day, you will not even feel hungry. Some of you may say it is so difficult, but no, it's not, my friend. Time. This way you develop the mastery over. And once having developed the mastery over, on that day, even in the kitchen, you may be helping, serving, and cooking the food to the others, but you will not feel hungry. Why? Because you have studied the taste of those organs for the object, which is your grain food. It is possible to start practicing. This is austerity. This is one of the best yoga you can think of. And it's not, I'm telling you, and of course I will say I fully agree. I am also still studying, and I'm not saying it, but yes, if I decide to, yes, no problem. Okay, so sloka number 259, and let's see the following sloka. Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha sangaste pusajayate sangatsa jayate kamaha kamat krodha abhijayate. Now, rather than me saying it, I cannot sing well.
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसः सङ्गस्तेषूपजायते सङ्गात् सञ्जायते कामः कामात् क्रोधोऽभिजायते.
During the earlier explanation, I might have drifted a little bit, but now we are guided by the sloka. Dhyayato vishayan punsaha. So while contemplating, dhyayate, contemplating, meditating upon, while contemplating on the object of the senses, okay, object of the senses, one develops sangha, association, one develops attachment to them. Sangha, association, attachment. Sangaste shupajayate. Then sangatsa jayate kama, kama, desire. So along with the association, along with the relationship, along with the like and dislike, you are developing desire, kama. Kamat krodho abhijayate. And once there is a desire, and if the desire is not fulfilled or fulfilled, krodho, krodha, anger, abhijayate, abhijayate arises. See now how easy become this sloka to understand. This all, Bhagwan Sri Krishna is guiding Arjuna how to grow beyond. Once again, understanding while contemplating on the object of the senses, one develops attachment to them. Attachment leads to desire, and from desire, arises anger. So any anger that you think like, truly speaking, it is the desire. And what is the desire? Say, for example, I ask Sunil to do certain work, and I wanted to have that work done on Tuesday. He did not do it. But whether he does it or not, but first I had developed the attachment to the work. What attachment? That I want this work to be done by Sunil. Okay. And then how does the desire comes into picture? I am thinking, I'm desiring that Sunil will finish this work on Tuesday. And if he does not do it, then what will happen? My anger will be developed. So that desire gives rise to the anger. A certain thing to do, certain thing not to do, whatever. But the attachment leads to the desire, and desire leads to anger. This one, krodhat bhavati sammoha, sammohat smriti vibhrama, smriti vrishad, buddhi nasho, buddhi nasat pranashyati. Let me hear from a better voice.
क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहः सम्मोहात् स्मृतिविभ्रमः स्मृतिभ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति.
Little word you will understand. Krodhat bhavati sammoha. Sammoha from sammoha, sammoha, clouding of the judgment. Sammoha under the influence of, or you can word mesmerize it. So when you go for mesmerization, you don't go, but say when you attend a mesmerization seminar, the mesmerizer, the performer, has control over your mind. You don't. So krodhat bhavati sammoha. So krodha brings the control over you. All right. Clouding of the judgment, meaning no matter the person who is mesmerized, he does not have control. His intellect, his memory, everything for the time being is clouded. And sammohat smrutir vibhrama. Smruti, the memory. So out of the sammoha, out of the clouded or the bewildered memory gets clouded, memory gets disturbed, then smruti brahmsada buddhi nasho, buddhi, intellect. So once the memory is bewildered, memory is disturbed, memory is clouded, you will have your buddhi, intellect get disturbed, intellect get clouded. And this all can be put under the word klesha. Buddhi nasa pranashyati. Pranashyati, when ruining take place, meaning one is gone, one is disturbed, one is killed, One is ruin. Ruin is, I think, better word. Because if your intellect is not working properly for all the judgment that you have to make in the life, do you know what can happen? You're gone. You feel miserable. Not only you feel miserable, your family and people around you also feel miserable. Let me see if I can take one more. Okay. If I may not get a chance to complete this, we will talk more. Let me hear this.
रागद्वेषवियुक्तैस्तु विषयानिन्द्रियैश्चरन् आत्मवश्यैर्विधेयात्मा प्रसादमधिगच्छति.
Okay. Now understand, but the one who controls the mind, I don't like the word control, but let's use the word master. One who masters the mind and is free from attachment and aversion, even while using the object of the senses, attains the grace of God. That is God. That grace is God. Understand? So, raga, dvesha. Raga, the attraction. Dvesha, aversion, rejection. Okay. Vyukteshu. Vyukteshu, free. Attaining the freedom from attachment and attraction and repulsion. Raga, dvesha, is free from attachment and aversion. That we have often talked about, raga and dvesha. And I have often given my famous character, mother-in-law. Okay. And I need to spend 2-3 more minutes on it. And you can see how you can study and you can have your tapa, you can have your austerity. When I say mother-in-law, and the example which I was often given is, let me come out of it for a minute. A daughter-in-law and mother-in-law. When daughter-in-law sees mother-in-law, she does not like it. She has aversion to it. But daughter-in-law, when her mother comes, there is attraction, there is attachment, there is desire. But a friend of mine gave me such a beautiful change in the meaning. Mother-in-law, she changed the word law to love. Mother-in-law. And instead of daughter-in-law, she changed daughters-in-law. Now, if you look at those of you with Indian background can appreciate mother-in-law, M-I-L, mil. And daughter-in-law, dil. Dil means heart, or you can say love. And mil means to meet. If you meet love, what a beautiful life it could be. Mil dil. And I think if I find time, I'm going to write on it. She gave me those words because she was transiting to be mother-in-law. So she said, how about instead of the word law, I say love, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. Can you imagine these beautiful words? So mill-bill. Anyhow, attachment and detachment. So those who are out of this attachment and detachment, they derive the grace of God. And what do you mean by the grace of God? When you don't have drag, you don't have pull, huh? You do not have aversion and attraction, and as a result, you develop the anger develop the bad memory develop the bad intellect, and bad intellect means life is ruined. So when this thing happens, can you imagine what could be the life? So the austerity, the tapa, and what to do on those holy days. Now we know, and please, for grace's sake, remove the word papa and punya. I mean, don't think that you are collecting punya. You are doing some austerity. You are just convincingly, you are changing your mind and you are fooling yourself thinking that you are doing the austerity. Okay, so with this, dear friend, I love all those. As soon as I was selecting those sloka, I thought how beautifully divine brings me to this sequentially, how one leads to the other. And so would you kindly turn on your microphone and turn on your video only if you like, and we can have little question, answer, suggestions, or comments. So let me begin with my friend Jagannath. Could you, first of all, could you understand the sequence I was driving at?
I know it's temptation, like you mentioned the morning coffee. So we kind of, make our assumptions. Okay, if I don't have coffee, then I'm not going to be active, whatever, your job is.
Mm-hmm.
So that leads to not having coffee, and then, your mind thinks that you can't do your job, whatever sequence. So, again, sequence of events that leads to more problems. So.
But do you know, you already have bewildered intellect that is guiding you to your judgment, thinking that if you will not have a cup of coffee, your mind will not work properly.
Yeah.
You see how you get ruined?
Yeah, but I prejudged that. Yeah.
That's right. Okay, Mahim. If you don't have anything, say Hari Om. That's fine.
To me, but the whole, I'm trying to understand the whole, and trying to understand the, what was the whole reason or understanding of this subject you were talking about, which is to me what I got from it was that the mastery of mind makes you a realized person or someone who can live a non-attachment life, mentally and physically.
Yes.
Is that what the purpose was of the talk? Okay, got it.
Yeah, mastery over the mind. That
Yes, yes, yes.
Sunil.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Sunil?
Yeah, developing mastery over the mind through controlling desire and expectation, and it's an ongoing process, and like which otherwise leads to being away from spirituality and downfall in general. So that is all needs to be practiced and developed on ongoing basis, like and improve yourself.
Absolutely, yes. Very
Hari
good.
Om.
Hari Om. Chris Lavard, my friend.
Yes, I was going to say that it was interesting. I'm sorry, is it Jagananda? Is that correct? I can't speak Hindi, so
You can say this way, break that way.
But I was going to say that he had a really good point about the inability to do his job if he didn't have his desires met, which was coffee in the morning. Everything is thrown off track at that point, and he's derailed. And I felt the same way. But one thing the sloka didn't talk about was what happens if you have your desire satisfied. Because sometimes you have the situation where you fall in love and, everything is perfect and everything's great. But then what happens after that is, I need something else. That's not enough.
That's right. That is.
So it works both ways. Even if you're satisfied, even if you get that perfect relationship, there's always something else you need. And I was thinking about this weekend and this morning when I was just taking a walk about, I'm never going to be satisfied. I'll never be satisfied, because if I had $1 million tomorrow,
exactly,
that wouldn't be enough. I'd need more.
So
So it's not just that the desires are not satisfied. Even if they are satisfied, there are more, and it just keeps tumbling in on you. More. And that's what we need. What I need, I guess, is that my mind is telling me what I have right now is not enough. I need more.
That's beautiful. So that itself is also a desire.
Exactly.
Okay. So just study the mind. That's all. Be aware of and tell yourself that you think you need more. That means it is not enough. Then you ask yourself again that what is enough?
Nothing.
That's it. So the day
nothing in the objective world.
Exactly.
Nothing out there is going to satisfy me. Anything outside myself will never satisfy me. It may temporarily, but I'll continue having these desires as long as I'm focused on the outside world, what's outside of me.
Beautiful, Chris. I'm so proud of you, brother. All of you. In other words, this is such a beauty of the learning when we all participate. Anyway, I do appreciate all of your presence, and excellent. Continue contemplating on it, and hereafter we'll be talking about mill and dill, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. I could not appreciate that enough. Okay. And normally I don't talk about the credit, but it was Gemini who came up with this idea. Our Gemini. So mill and dill. Fantastic idea. So let us conclude with the prayer. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. That's it.